Hi, I'm Alice, a biomedical scientist here in the UK. In today's episode, we're going to be tackling one of the most common and important questions usually asked in interview, and that's the tell me about yourself question. Let's tackle it together and see if we can craft a response. Why do they ask these questions? Interviewers want to know about your professional experience. They want to know the skills and experience you've actually gained. They want to know about your educations. They don't want to know about your life story. They want to know how your background actually aligns with the current role you're applying for. They want to know if you're a fit for the job. How do you structure your answers? What framework do you want to put your response in? You want to make sure you're talking about your past, your present, and your future. Remember, I said you're talking about only your professional experience. You're not telling them your life story. You want to talk about the past, what you've done in the past, what educational experience you have. Do you have a master's? What skills you've gained? Did you do placement? Experience that you've gathered in the past that align with the role you're currently applying for. You want to talk about your present. You want to talk about where you're currently working. You want to talk about your school. Any skills or experience you've gained right now, like at the point where you're doing the interview, that is of relevant to the job you're applying for. And you also want to talk about your future, or why you're applying for the role, what stood out for you, what interests you in that same job. Every part of what you're going to be saying, whether it's your past, your present, and your future, should be linked to something that has actually been listed in the person's specification of the job. The summary of tell me yourself should actually be a story that actually fits the person's specification. It should target specific things on your person's specification. Now, let's give an example. I was kind enough to ask ChatGPT to actually craft a person's specification for me. Now, the person's specification will pop up on the screen, and then let's try to craft out a perfect response that can hit specific things on this person's specification of this particular job. I am applying for a job, and this is the person's specification: a band 5 biomedical scientist role. I am an HCPC registered biomedical scientist with a BS in biomedical science and an MS in biomedical science. That on this part has actually picked out something in the qualification. I've actually tackled the qualification aspects there. I've gained hands-on experience in performing routine diagnostic tests, working with automated analyzer. I will probably, in this place, I'm going to give a short example of where I've worked in my previous working experience and name an assay that is similar to something that this current place I'm applying for is doing. I'll talk about why working in the lab for the past 2 years. I have also consistently ensured quality standards through IQC and EQA processes. I'm going to give an example of when I'd had to run EQA or IQCs. Talk about having to run control samples and also having to participate in EQA and probably audit. Talk about the process that I use and make it as a statement to show them that I have the basic knowledge of the IQA procedures, and I've also participated in audit of some sort in my laboratory. I'm also going to talk about my skills and my characteristics. I will say I'm meticulous, I'm organized and confident in using the LIMS system, that's the Laboratory Information Management System. I know how to adhere to ISO 15189 standards. I'm passionate about delivering timely and accurate results to support patient care, and always keen to develop my knowledge through CPD and collaborative learning. Now, in saying this, I'm going to say it in a story format, and I'm going to target specific things that I've listed in the person's specification. So I'm not just saying stories just to interest them. I'm saying stories that will actually meet these things, because when they are interviewing you, the person's specification is one of the things that they are going to use as a guide to mark you. So you want to make sure everything you're saying is relevant to the job, is relevant to the person's specification, is relevant to the role that you're applying at hand. Don't use any example that is not relevant to the role. Now it's your turn to draft your tell me about yourself. If you're stuck with your tell me about yourself question, comment below and I can help you tweak it. Till I come your way again, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.